Do you want us to say,
Oh,
Hi!
hi?
hi.
Thank you so much for giving up your time to be part of the Parental CEO Ultimate Life interview. It's so great to have you on the show. So the
Great to be here.
Thank you. The Parental CEO was created to inspire parents in business, life, parenting, and to travel. So we always want to add value to our community and by sharing our success stories, advice, and how other people live their ultimate life. And I know that you're brand new on the journey, so you're really, really exciting. So we'd love for you to tell us who you are, where you're from, and how old the kids are, and where you are right now.
Okay, cool. So we are Dave and Lizzie Baskey or Baskies. And we are about to head off traveling, which we'll talk more about. But there are 6 of us. So we have our eldest, who is coming up 18, Leah. And then we have Elijah, who's coming up 9. Then Nevaeh, who is 7, and Cassia, who is 4. So it's going to be a busy van.
Wow, that sounds epic. And where are you right now?
We're in Nottingham at the moment.
Good old Nottingham. So for the people who are watching this right now, you are sat in the seats where Jamie and I were last year. A few more kids, but we literally, yeah, I can imagine how you feel. But for everyone who doesn't know, tell us what's happening right now in your life.
Okay.
Yeah, well, our house is up for auction at the moment.
2 days left.
Yeah, 2 days left on live auction. So we're hoping someone's going to make a bid on this property. We've got our van. That's currently at the conversion place. It's just had its windows put in, side windows, windows at the back. But there's still about 6 weeks left of work to do on the van to get that all ready. It's been a challenge getting a van big enough because obviously we need it to be 6 berth. But we've got a rough plan for that now. So yeah, the steps coming together.
And we were planning to head off mid-June, but because the house isn't sold and the van isn't ready, we were umming and ahhing, but actually we're going to head off mid-June anyway, with a tent and our car. So we're going to do a month or so and then come back, hopefully with the house being sold and the van being ready. So we're starting off with our tent in France.
That's absolutely amazing. And it's literally like the start of our journey. We just took the tent, we just got that to the sale actually in a big trailer with all the kit because we got the van now. But we set off and we went down to the south coast and we had a month down there and it was absolutely amazing. So go you guys for just doing it and taking that leap. How does it feel right now?
We're super excited, aren't we? And the kids are really excited. Obviously, there's elements of sadness as we leave friends, and things that are familiar, particularly for the kids. Some more than others are kind of like sad to leave friends. But yeah, we're all just really excited for the adventure now, aren't we?
Yeah, it feels like we've been planning it for so long now as well, that it feels like, just ready to go. It's just a bit fed up now with the waiting game. Just want to be on our way. So yeah, super excited. Feel a bit of weight on our shoulders as well with the house and needing that to sell. But more than anything, just eager and excited to get going.
So tell everybody that's watching or listening to this right now, tell them how the hardships you've actually had, the ups and downs you've been through over the last few months since you decided this is what you wanted to do.
Hardships. I think one of our biggest hurdles, which we did not think would be a hurdle, was getting the van, because we needed an extra long wheel and an extra high, which literally there was one in the whole of the country, and it was just ridiculously expensive. But then in the end, we got an amazing deal, didn't we? Because Dave is like now an expert on vans.
Yeah.
And so there's this van and people just advertise wrongly, like all the time. So he'd seen this long wheelbase and he's like, yes, I'm sure that is an extra long wheelbase. And I'm like, yeah, I think it is, So anyway, we rang up and the guy was like, no, it's a long, but I will check it. And he's like, please do measure it. Got back and said, no, it is an extra long. We've advertised it wrong. And it's in Nottingham as well. So not only, like, all of them are all over the country, but it was in Nottingham. It's an extra long wheelbase. So we ended up getting it £2,000 cheaper than what we would have done because they marked it up wrong. So it was a hardship, but also a real victory.
Well, it was a nightmare trying to get the van, and most of the time they'd advertise them too big, and then you'd find out it was smaller than what they were saying. So it was incredible that in the end it worked out the opposite way around. Yeah.
So that's probably one of our biggest things. And then selling the house, we thought that would happen much quicker. And everyone was like, yeah, it will sell super quick. And it hasn't. So it's like, okay, what do we do? And I think you just have to I think when you go on an adventure, and we've talked about this, Lauren, this thing of you have to just take it as part of the adventure. You know, when things don't work out the way that you want them to, or you think they're going to, you just kind of have to roll with it, don't you? Because so yeah.
There will literally be plenty more of the rolling with it going. Honestly, I'm just getting ate by a mosquito. But literally every corner, every new road, everything is a new adventure. I mean, we stopped, and I think it's important to tell the listeners or the viewers right now that we don't actually know each other. We've been talking because Lizzie, you contacted me because you know somebody that I know and said, oh, this crazy person has taken their family on an adventure. Yeah. So we're super excited to meet you. We're really excited watching your journey, watching the steps roll out, because it's like watching ourselves, and we actually were from Nottingham. And then it's so exciting to see more and more people do it now. And you've kind of helped us base a lot of our questions for the Parental CEO Ultimate Life channel. So we've got questions that came in from you guys and other people, and they've kind of formed our little video sessions we've done. And it's been super helpful for us because we have struggled, you know, we hold our hands up and say we struggled. And yeah, and it's just amazing to see you taking that step. So what jobs did you do? Have you had to give them up, or are you taking them with you?
You can go first for that.
At this moment in time, I work for City and Guilds and another exam board as well. But it's all remote work. So it's all on my laptop, working from home. So it's just obviously it's really convenient for traveling. I'm going to take my laptop with me. The guy who's converting the van is putting a special, I don't know what the term is, some kind of Wi-Fi device on top of the van. So yeah, it should be good for meetings and quite reliable and everything as we travel.
Everywhere except Albania, which is where we are right now. Literally, I got that over all countries and all worldwide internet, and we got into Albania and it just went boop. Like, what?
Like, no.
There'll be bits that you face along the way where, you know, we've had to buy different SIM cards for Turkey. We've had to buy different bolt-ons. We've got we had a deal for €99 for 3 months when we went into Turkey, and that covered like a lot of the country, a lot of countries. But then we came out of Turkey only 3 months later, and that's now gone up to $89 for 2 months. And you know, it constantly changes, but I know that we're looking at the moment. I don't know if you've had a look at the Elon Musk one. You know, his technology is great. So I think it's called like Sky something. Sky. I said Skynet, but that's
Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah. So we're going to have a look at that next. So it's, if you're working online, I found that I'm having to find an internet cafe, which they're everywhere now. I'm currently at the campsite near where we're staying, and they're doing work to it, but they have got internet here. But you'll find what suits you as you go. And it's one of those things that we planned like, oh yeah, everywhere has internet. Not always, but yeah, it does. And with you working, you know, if you're not having to do face-to-face, because I do a lot of one-to-one coaching and obviously the interviews, I have to make sure the timing's right so that the kids are entertained. I've got Wi-Fi, or I've got a little internet cafe, but you'll absolutely smash it. Absolutely smash it. So what we've talked about the hardships you've had. We've talked about, you've got the van now and the house is on like the auction, so it's all ready to go.
Selling everything.
How was that? Or how is it?
I mean, yeah, we're getting there. It's just there's so much stuff. We just all have too much stuff, don't we? And that's all part of it, We're really excited. We're not storing anything. We're just getting rid of everything.
2 yard sales, haven't we?
We've done some yard sales, boot sales.
So, yeah.
And then we're just about to do, which I pinched the idea from you actually, doing the Facebook Live. I'm going to do a live and just go around the house and just say, anyone who wants it, just let us know what you'll pay. And
honestly,
the bigger items.
It's amazing. And one of the things that my husband says to me, why don't you do that for your business? I was like, no one wants to go buy my stuff. But actually, when you're selling the house, it was like, buy my stuff. I want to go traveling.
Yeah.
So what I did was just say to somebody, here's a picture of this. A lot of our stuff was like IKEA or well-known brands. And I was like, go on Google it, how much it is, and then just go half price and set an offer from there. Because we had a lot of stuff that was new. And letting go of the kids stuff was the hardest. How have the kids found it?
Yeah, I mean, Elijah is just super cool with it. He's just like, I think he's so excited about going traveling, and he's just not bothered about letting go of things. I mean, there's some things obviously more so, but Nevaeh is just like, I said to the girls, right, can you sort out all your cuddly toys and just go through them, work out what's for charity, what you're going to keep. And she came downstairs and she said, Mummy, I've sorted through them all and I've decided I'm going to keep them all. And I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't really the plan. And she's like, well, there were some that I was going to give to charity, but then I gave them a cuddle. And I just thought, no, I need to keep them.
Oh, bless her.
So Nevaeh is definitely struggling more with letting go.
We have currently in the van that have traveled around the last, 12 or 13 countries. I've lost count. We have 2 pandas, which belong to Tobias. A sky toy that Jackson made at Build-A-Bear, and he's never, ever cuddled, ever. It's come round with us. And then we thought we were just about to get rid of them. And then somebody bought a bear in Turkey for her birthday. So we've got an extra bear. So yeah, I feel your pain. What about... people said to us, was it hard to get rid of your stuff? And Jamie and I, when we had done it and the house had sold, we kind of pulled up on the drive and went, wow, I feel so much lighter. I feel like we've kind of leveled up now and we're just ready. Have you got to that point, or do you think you're near that point?
I mean, yeah, we'd considered about storage, hadn't we?
Yeah. At first.
And then I think because we've done the journey with that, we're just cool to get rid of everything. And I think the more we get rid of, the more we feel that feeling. And I think it won't be until we fully go and everything's gone. But yeah, so many people are like, how can you just get rid of all your stuff? And I'm like, because it's just stuff. It's just stuff. What we will get in exchange for that stuff is so much more value than anything else.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And less is more. And if you need something, you can just get it on the road.
Yeah.
Everywhere's got an IKEA.
Woo!
Yeah, it actually feels great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
It's strange because for us, so I spoke to a friend earlier and they were like, oh, you're at IKEA again, I see. And I was like, but it's in every country. It's got free Wi-Fi, free coffee, free childcare. What more do you want? I can get new mods for the van. I think we went in for a new pan 2 days ago. So as you go, you just think, oh, we can just nip in. And, every country have got a shop. Every country have got clothes. Every country have got food. So you'll find something when you need it. But have you got any burning questions, like those last minute things that you want to ask Jamie or I, that we're only a year ahead and we've met plenty of other people that are doing it now, we're picking up tips from them, exchanging places to go? Have you got any burning questions?
So our main stuff was around travel and routes and things like that, and then family, really. So I think one of our things was like, just from you, I mean, I guess everyone does it differently and everyone's personality is different, but do you guys plan, like when you left, did you plan a route or did you just decide we're just going to go? And like on a daily, do you plan what you're going to do? Or do
So
you plan kind of a couple of days ahead, or how do you work it?
it's quite a good question, actually. I was speaking to check out one of the other interviews just gone live. We've just said to them the same thing. But basically, with us, the reason for us just selling everything and going was a personal challenge of mine. It's one my husband Jamie gave to me, and I'm a planner. And even before I became a life coach, I do 4-year life plans. And I have a 4-year life plan as a resource for my people that I coach. I could share it with you guys anyway. So I planned 4 years in advance for everything, like what big major life events were coming, when the kids were starting school, like weddings, funerals, like there was always something penciled in. And then I'd put my goals, what I wanted to achieve, places I wanted to visit. And my husband just turned around to me and said, where could you take more risk and bold action on the planning side? And I was like, oh. So our challenge was to just drive with no destination, because if we had no destination, we couldn't get lost. If we had no plan, it couldn't go wrong. And the stress and anxiety for us is normally caused by plans not going to plan. So when we set off, Jamie had in mind that he wanted to go to Gibraltar. Because we were going to be going in winter. We actually got over to France over on the tunnel on the 1st of November. So he was like, right, let's get to Gibraltar because it will reset the Schengen days. And if anyone doesn't know, the Schengen days is a new thing for us since the UK have left the EU. So we only get 90 days on a rolling 180-day period. So every 180 days we get a new 90 days, I believe. That's Jay's side, he's technical. But now we're in Albania, the clock stops. So we were in Turkey for 90 days and we're fine. Then we went to Greece, so we've had a month there, but now we've been in Albania. This is our free day, so we don't have to have the days in the non-Schengen countries. And I think because we were planning to just go to get down to Gibraltar, and then it was like, and then when we got there, it was like, and then what? We took our time getting down there, and then we're like, and then what? So it was like, well, do we go back to the UK? Do we go to Portugal? Do we go to Morocco? Like, what do we do? And we were literally sat on the fence between the 3 countries going, what's next? And there's a thing called, I'll put the link in below, but it's called Workaway. And we signed up to that because it's a way of traveling, probably less, we've got young kids, probably for people with older kids or, single people or couples. But basically you can put in your profile on Workaway and you can look for jobs or people can look for you. And we got offered a job. Basically they let us stay on their land if we looked after their dog whilst they went away. So we did that over at Portugal, and that was the only thing really we planned, because we got this message come up as we were waiting to say yes or no to the ferry to Morocco, and this notification came up saying, please can you look after our dog? We've been let down and we need to get back for Christmas to the UK. We've got a yurt and a farm, an eco farm, and we need someone to look after the dog for 2 weeks. And we were like, funny enough, we need somewhere to stay for 2 weeks. So we headed there, but that was planned because I had to plan the route to get to their house because we had a destination and we had a time that we needed to be there. So that was probably one of the only things we planned, other than we needed to get to Turkey after that because there was a big expat community, a big homeschooling community, world schooling community. And Tobias, our 7-year-old, he was desperate for older kid interaction. So then we had to plan how to get to Turkey, which didn't go to plan. We were supposed to go through Croatia and Albania, but there was a storm and we had to go all the way around through the other countries. So I feel that having a plan for us, it was a challenge for me personally, because I'm a planner. When we went to Sweden, everything was planned out to literally to the meter of where we was going to be, what times, and what happened if we didn't get that train. We'd have to go to this place and get this train. And it went perfectly to plan both times we've done that. But this whole thing for us was about challenge ourselves not to have a plan. So there's always a plan, as in, you know, when you first go, you feel like you're on holiday. So you're like, oh, we could see the Eiffel Tower. Oh, we could go to Disney. Oh, look, it's Barcelona. Let's go and see, you know, the whatever landmark it is that you're going to see. And we kind of doing in Greece, when we came through Greece, we had no plan, but we just drove the coast. And then my husband said, you know, I really like the 300 movie. I'm a big Sparta fan, so let's go and see that.
Yeah.
So there's places that we've kind of said we want to go and see, but we haven't had a time, we haven't had a route, and we've picked up park for the night. And we just will like look where's closest to where we're going to stay, read the reviews. One place had a creepy guy who came out and kept kissing me and wouldn't let go of me. And then I read the reviews after, and it said creepy guy that comes and like wanders round. So I was like, I should have read the review.
Great. You're like, I should have read that review before we went.
Yeah, always read the reviews. But a lot of the places
generally, have you found that like helpful? Have you, apart from that particular one, like the places you go and stay using park for the night, generally are good?
Yeah. And as we've gone, we've met people. So everyone seems to be going the opposite way to us. They're all heading towards Turkey and we're heading back towards the UK. But we're swapping trips now. So like one of them say, oh, we did this park for the night, it was really good. And I wouldn't have even looked at that area or that location. So that's been good. We've met a couple today. They're Danish and they're traveling the way we came. So we've shared some hot springs with them that we found by accident. And because we've got kids, we have to stop every 2 or 3 hours because they're bored or they're hungry or they need the toilet. So we can just pull over, they jump in the back, they have a wee, and then off we go again. But on the places we have just pulled over, it's been absolutely stunning. Like we wouldn't have seen it. We've kind of like gone, we'll pull up here, and then round the corners, the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. Or running hot springs that are completely natural that you can just go in and you don't have to pay. So we have seen incredible things because we haven't planned. So I guess it's down to your personal preference. We've found people have followed a route map and literally stuck to it and been at certain places at certain time. We know people that are traveling by a car and taking out Airbnbs, staying in an Airbnb in one place for a month and then traveling out from there every day and seeing tourist stuff. We know people who are on boats now. We've got friends with people on boats. Jackson absolutely loves the boats. He keeps asking when we're going to get one. I was like, when you can swim. So everybody's doing it differently, but everyone's living their ultimate life the way that they want to. And it's completely up to you. And until you get going, you won't know. Because you're a family of 6. You've got to figure out what works for you. We set off on this journey thinking, right, I'll book in all my coaching calls at 9 o'clock. Toby can do his homework at 9 o'clock. Jamie can take the kids out, and we do like 9 till 3, like school hours. That did not work for us. No.
And home ed doesn't work like that, really.
No, and you know, because
as
soon as I got my coaching course booked in for 9 o'clock UK time with the UK clients, we were 3 hours ahead. So it was lunchtime for me anyway. So that's another thing you take into account. You're going through time zones and you forget, like I was checking on my calendar tonight for meeting you guys, it was coming up as 10:30. When I checked, I was like, that's fine because the kids will be in bed, No, we've dropped an hour as we got into Albania. So it's actually 9:30 when it was, meeting you. So I was like, oh, quick. We just got out the sea. We had like a sunset dip in the sea and it was really nice.
Oh, lovely.
But, you've got to figure it out as you go. And I can give you as much advice. I can give you routes. I can give you locations. What I'm trying to figure out now is, because I've got a lot of people following, whether we do a few route maps and have it as like people can, get which one they want for which country, or whether you can follow me on Google Maps because I review most places that I go to. I've got a big following or such on there. Like I've got a high, I don't know, Jamie does all the technical stuff, but I've got a high ranking on reviewing stuff. Mainly because I'm celiac, so I always try to find out what's gluten free, and then other places we're trying to leave reviews because they're small businesses and they need that, help. But
Yeah.
you can, I think there's a way, because we met a German family and they've started following my pins. So I send them a WhatsApp message with somewhere we stayed or somewhere we visited, and they will then add it. So I don't know if you know much about Google Maps, but you can basically mark a place. So on everything.
I don't know loads about Google Maps, do
A
you?
little bit.
Oh, it's amazing.
We're a bit of a nightmare with technology. We need to get better.
Well, that side of stuff, Jamie can help you with because he is Mr. Techno. He knows so much. Let me see if I can pull up maps on here because I think it's so.
I've seen you posting your maps, which I always think, oh wow, that looks so cool, but I have no idea how to access.
Honestly, it says we're running out of time as well. We could do another one of these. We can do all day. We can do a session, but let's see if I can zoom out. Right, okay. So let me share my screen. See if it'll let me do it before we've got 10 minutes. So share screen. Desktop on. Right, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
so on Google Maps, where I have been, I have pinned in a pink heart.
That means that's you've been there.
We've been it or we've physically seen it. Like drove past and gone, oh my God, that's the whatever.
Yeah.
I think these are old, the stars. They were actually when we had a timeshare. So I was pinning places we were going to go to with the timeshare. Or it might be on these orange ones, it might be somewhere, of interest with like a hospital or where someone said, hospitals here because as a parent, you're always looking for the closest hospital. And we've been in plenty of them, but there's another YouTube video coming out. And then
I was going to ask about that. So I'll watch that.
That one, yeah, they're just making it, I think. So the blue ones are actually the places we've stayed. I don't know. I'm either zoom in or
Are
zoom
they
out.
like Airbnbs type thing?
No, a lot of them will be actually where we parked for the night.
Oh, okay.
So
the pink things are not where you've parked necessarily. They're like sites.
No, I don't know. There's a lot of this missing, so I don't know why it's not coming up. But let's go for where we are now. So see, you can zoom in and you can see this a bit more. Look at where we've been. Oh. So we slept here. This was absolutely stunning. It doesn't look like that. That's a school. That it's not actually functioning. There's no one in it, and the kids were playing basketball on the side. It's right on the beach. And this is just a typical park.
Is that Albania?
This was on the border of Greece. So we crossed this bridge. This bridge from oh my God, from Patra. This stretch of the bridge cost 21 euros to go across. But I've been told there's a ferry that's 11 euros.
Oh.
21 euros. It's crazy. The toll roads are very expensive. And Greece seemed to class as a class 3 vehicle as a bus and not as a class 2, which every other country do. So when you're extra high and extra long, because we've got the extra high, extra long wheelbase, in most countries you're still a class 2. France, you will need a crit air sticker, but I'll talk to you more about that offline. I think Jamie wanted to do a video on that. So maybe we could we could do a video with you guys and Jamie talking about what toll road stickers you need, what paperwork you need to go to what country. Because that we got caught out. We nearly got a fine. So this was like a really nice little park for night on the beach, and we could see the bridge. And this is all mountains. So you've got the sea, the little village, fishing village, the mountains, the bridge. It was very pretty. And then I've kind of zoomed out as quick as I can because we traveled up this road like lightning. We saw fireflies as well there, all the way up here.
That's on my bucket list. That is seeing fireflies.
Then we stayed here at IKEA because there was a storm. So we stayed here for 4 hours And then we came across the border. We came round to this place, which is like a tourist attraction. We didn't know about it. We found it by accident. We didn't actually go in, but you can stay there overnight for so many euros. I can't remember. And then at the minute we're somewhere around here. We came down here this morning. We stayed here. Yeah, we stayed here right on this Love Heart. We stayed here last night, and there was other 2 camper vans. We found that by accident because we got no internet here, so we literally just drove until we found a space. And then we used the laundrette here, and we're staying here around this area. So this is where we are right now. It's absolutely stunning, but it's all under construction, and the season don't start until another month's time. But then the plan is to either decide to head up to Albania. We've got some other places that friends stayed up here and recommended. So we can head up this coast, or we can hit Durs and then go across to Italy and go. We have been around here. We've got a friend here, but we can travel across that way and up.
And then are you guys going back to the UK?
We're heading back to the UK for the fact that we could stay here. We haven't got a time limit to get back to the UK, but we're going to California. And the idea when we sold the house was to go and stay with a client and friend in California and go and do the West Coast in her RV. So Trevor, the transit, will come back to the UK, have some work done, get rented out on Go Booney. So if you haven't looked at that, have a look at that. And then we'll fly off to America. But at the moment,
so when are you due to be going to America?
We were going to go in April, but we're having too much fun. And because we don't have a time, again, we don't have a time limit. She wants us to go whenever we're comfortable. We then talked about going in the fall. But because, she's super chilled and laid back as well, it's a case of we will get over to see her, but it's whether we go now or in the fall or next year. It depends on what happens because, we've not got a time limit. So it could take us we could have a month in Albania or 3 months here. And we've done some travel that's been way too fast. We've done some travel that's been too slow. And, we've kind of just taken it as it's gone because for us, we've stayed in a place and think, oh, we'll just nip through here. And we've bumped into somebody, made a friend, they've invited us in for a coffee and a shower and, or somebody's invited us onto their boat and the kids have played for hours. So we've just been super lucky and we end up staying somewhere we was going through. We stayed there for 4 or 5 days. But then there's other places that we really wanted to go and we got the vibe that it's not for us. I was really excited to go to Madrid, but the campsite was just not for us. And that was a campsite and a park for a night, but we just got a bad vibe. So you listen to your gut, you know each other well enough, you know what the kids are liking. And if the kids are kicking off, it might not be the right place for them to stay. But we're at that point now where our kids are desperate for some other children interaction. And the soft plays and things in Greece didn't open till 5:30 at night. They were open 5:30 till 9:30. Now we're starting to wind down then. The kids like to get up and get out in the morning. But we have been to a few of them. And you just got to go with what's right for you when. And we made a lot of friends in Turkey, and Laura had a second birthday party. She had a party in Turkey because we'd made enough friends for them all to come and have a paddling pool and play, and that was really nice. So I think the main thing for us, is the community, is the loneliness, because when you first go off, everything's new and, learning each other. But after a while, because you're not getting that separation, you don't get bored of each other, but you're in each other's pockets. And this is why, with my, I know that I'm already a life coach, but the whole me time mentality has rolled out through traveling. Because I knew how important it was as a mum and as a parent to fill up your own cup so you've got more energy to give to your kids and your husband and your work and the housework and everything else. But actually on the trip, I've turned that into the me time mentality, because you need to take that time out. And if you can feel, if you know your trigger points of what's like getting your anxiety up, or if you're feeling a bit like down, just stepping out of the van, going for a walk alone, is such a big thing. And even for the kids, Tobias is only 7, but he needs that time on his own. He needs to go, I'm not saying he goes off and has a walk on his own, but he goes off and sits in a quiet space in my eyesight just so he can be alone for a little bit. So that's really important. But I think we should do a version 2 of this as well. What do you think?
Yeah, we'd be up for that, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Right, let me stop the recording for this and then we'll do version 2 and we'll add that in as well. So thank you. We'll see you in a sec.
Yeah.